I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Oris Aquis depth gauge. You can see this 46mm stainless steel depth gauge dive watch and purchase it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time to see our full listing for this watch with additional accessories included, high resolution images, and naturally full pricing details. Released in 2013, the Aquis depth gauge is perhaps the most accessible and most mechanically uninvolved of the depth gauge watches to be released by the Swiss watch industry since the seminal 1999 IWC GST Deep 1. This one uses a unique channeled sapphire, and you can see starting at 12 o'clock at the top of the sapphire and working counterclockwise around from that point, there's a channel within the sapphire. You'll read it as a sort of grayed out or fogged stripe just underneath the sapphire. Look at approximately 50 on the bezel and you'll acquire it quickly. It does give you your depth in real time due to the interplay of air pressure within the channel and water pressure without the watch. It is a big timepiece, 46mm across the round of the case, not including the crown or the crown guard. It's also quite thick, measuring 15.5mm, but with a cantilevered bezel that actually looms out over the case flanks, making it a bit more difficult to wear with a tight sleeve than a conventional 15.5mm thick watch. Now from lug to lug, it's a bruiser. 54.5mm, it does straddle the wrist with a broad stance, but it has impressive presence, and thanks to the interior volume of the watch being used for a practical purpose, there is a solid reason, or perhaps I should say, a hollow reason for this watch being as large as it is. Now it does wear well on the wrist, including a small 16cm wrist like mine, because you can see that the lugs, which are fixed with superior screw bars rather than spring bars, the lugs allow the strap to bend straight down. So although it is an integrated look, that is to say the strap hews close to the case flanks, there's no daylight visible, it's an integrated look. You don't pay the price that you often do on these large sports watches. Consider the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore. Think of the flare of that strap. Think of how it fights the curve of your wrist, and you can see why Oris wins the ergonomic battle on that count. Now the watch is paired with a superb twin trigger deployant single fold clasp. The triggers ensure that you have to positively release the clasp. It can't simply pop open. It's not friction fit. It's very secure, and on a stainless steel timepiece of this size, you want that kind of reassurance. Now what it also has is a dual tab slider such that you can incrementally adjust for wearing the strap over a diving suit, a thick winter coat, simple adjustments as your wrist expands and contracts in the course of activity or inactivity. It's a smart system and cleverly integrated into a very substantial clasp, and of course the watch also comes with an accessory bracelet. Now the dial of the watch is inboard of a ceramic bezel, unidirectional rotating and loomed at the pearl. It's an impressive piece of hardware for a watch in this category. Not only is it a ceramic bezel, but it surrounds the most accessible of basically depth meter assemblies. Now it's calibrated down to 100 meters, which means that if you are a serious diver, it actually allows you to measure your depth in real time to a greater depth than any of the IWC equivalents with their purely mechanical depth gauges. Moreover, the watch itself exceeds the rating of any of the IWC Deep 1, 2, 3 series with a 500 meter level of water resistance as rated by the factory. Now you also get conversion tables on the case back. Solid and screwed in, it covers Oris's equivalent of a Sellita SW200. So a Sellita caliber taken and modified by Oris. It has a 25 joule architecture. It beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour, so it has a modern beat rate. It does feature hacking seconds, such that when you pull the crown out, you do stop the balance, allowing you to synchronize precisely to a known accurate reference clock or dive timer. Finally, it does feature a discrete date window at 6 o'clock, and thanks to the architecture of the movement, you do get a quick set date function to rapidly cycle the date for correction should the watch run down, or for correcting if you encounter an irregular length month. This is a very substantial timepiece with a feature that is virtually unheard of at this price range, even in the pre-owned market. You can see this Oris Aquis depth gauge, 46mm in stainless steel, and purchase it on our website.